Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I want to talk about the Human Torch, Johnny Storm. I was really happy with this character when he first came out. I think he's got a lot of interesting facets to his skill set and to his passive abilities, and I think he is a sleeper character, someone who basically has a ton of potential to spike up to kind of like top 5, top 10 in the meta should he get the right buffs from a future uniform. So definitely a character to watch. I would almost say that he's kind of like a mini Gambit. So for those of you that don't have Gambit, or for those of you that want a character that kind of plays like Gambit in some ways, Human Torch is kind of like that. But he's definitely a lot better defensively, but of course he sacrifices a lot on the offensive end. But it is interesting to see the mixture of offense and defense that he carries, and I think the majority of my offensive build focuses around Flame Blast, his third skill. It's the skill we want to proc our damage obelisk on, and it's the skill that stacks up to minus 50 all defense. And the really good part about Flame Blast is that it starts at minus 20, so you get up to that minus 50 very, very quickly. And he also has 5 seconds of immunity, which is beautiful, and it's also got a continuous blast. You can't move around like Gambit, but you can continuously fire this off, a la Cyclops, a la Nova, Blue Marvel, those types of characters. Now, the interesting thing with Flame Blast, because you want to proc your damage proc on it, and because it's a continuous skill, you want to have the most attack speed possible. Now, when you tier 2 Human Torch, turn up the heat is going to give you guaranteed dodge, which is an interesting effect for blast types, some skill and bonus damage, but then we got that all attack, all speed crit rate. So that all speed 5% is not going to show up, but it's going to be stacked on. But because it's only 5%, and because none of his other abilities give him all speed or even attack speed, you do want to go with Power of Angry Hulk for his obelisk, or for his ISO weight set. Now, when I originally reviewed this character briefly, I had Overdrive, and just today, because of the 50% discount, I re-rolled it. It cost me about 2 to 3 million gold, I believe, to get Power of Angry Hulk. So I'm much happier with this set. I did sacrifice about 8% crit damage, but I got much higher attack speed. So now when he zones in to a stage, that 5% will apply, and he'll be up to almost 128% attack speed, which is beautiful. And max attack speed is what you want for those channeling skill characters like Cable, like Ant-Man, Strife, etc. And so because of that, because of the bonus being on right now, or the discount for the set bonus reroll, I would recommend that if you have some characters like Human Torch or like others that need their ISO 8 set rerolled, that you go ahead and do that. Now, I got pretty lucky. I rerolled a couple of different ISO 8 sets, and I didn't spend that much gold on any of them. The rest of his skills play out pretty kind of as you would expect. 1 and 2 have neither good damage nor iframes, so you don't really want to stick with them. 4 and 5 are really where things start to go kind of north and kind of go up. 4 is a really nice iframe, which appears to trigger your preferred striker's abilities, and I'll show you guys that in some gameplay soon. And then Supernova is amazing skill. It's got a crazy large AoE, so it's good for triggering your damage proc on your obelisk if you don't want to start with 3 right away. It's got penetration, and it's got a huge recovery, all attack buff, and it's got a hidden all defense down debuff. So it's not showing up on the skill effects up there, but it also applies a small all defense down to the enemy. But that max HP recovery, that 30% for 1 second, it actually triggers multiple times, and so this basically means 100% recovery. I've used this when I had like 1,000 health, and I jumped right back up to about 22,000 health. So it's amazing. He's got basically a full heal on demand every 7.5 seconds. He's got a long iframe and firestorm, and he's got a really nice continuous attack, all defense down, third skill. So really the full package. But not only that, hold on, Johnny, he actually gets hotter. Yeah, folks, for only the low price of $9.99. No, I'm just kidding. He's a free-to-play character. You can get him with bio subs. Fire with Fire. He's got 50% increased dodge. So flat 50% dodge is insane. His standing dodge rate, Anakin, is 68%, whereas the max is 75%. So just imagine you had a uniform on him. One of the uniform options, of course, the 4th uniform option, you can roll dodge. If you have the uniform associated with that one at Mythic, which it's going to take me a while to find one of those, but if you do, then that dodge rate spikes up and you can be getting north of 1200 dodge on a uniform, and this one's only heroic, so it goes up, I think it goes up to like 1800 dodge. So it's just bonkers. With a uniform, Human Torch could probably cap his dodge, which is mental to have that much dodge on a blast character, in addition to 20% guaranteed dodge. So he's got a little bit of the defensive prowess of someone like Emma Frost, who has guaranteed dodge, which is a super premium character to compare him to. I mean, I'm comparing him to a character that costs thousands of crystals, and I'm comparing him to Gambit, who actually costs real money. That is the real value of Human Torch, and again, it's that potential that he could go higher and he could get even better when he gets a uniform, and it's pretty much almost guaranteed that the Fantastic Four will eventually get uniforms. So whether you want to build him offensively, as I've done with, you know, crit damage and energy attack, and so you're going to need a little bit of ignore defense, I think, because his ignore defense is kind of low. He doesn't have any on his gear. Or if you want to build him, and of course with a fire damage proc and Power of Angry Hulk, or if you want to build him defensively and take advantage of that dodge, you could give him something like Guard Break dodge 5 seconds or max HP dodge 5 seconds. The thing with a character that has high dodge is they're less likely to get guard broken. Now, for actual PvP against, you know, characters like Quicksilver, you're going to need to have guard break immunity because you can't take that chance. But if you're going to be doing different kinds of PvP, if you're going to be taking it a bit more casually, you can run the risk of not giving him guard break immunity, because 50% dodge, or basically max dodge plus 20% guaranteed dodge, is seriously good. Guys, keep in mind, Spider-Man only has, what, 25 or 30% guaranteed dodge? He really does. He has 25%. He doesn't have that much, but because that 25% is coupled with multiple iframes and a very high native dodge, which by the way is only 1.5%, 69, 1.5% higher than Johnny, which is just insane. It makes him really hard to hit. Now, Johnny only has 2 iframes, Spider-Man has 4.5, so it's a little bit of a different comparison, but still, Johnny's got so much going for him both offensively and defensively that it's actually super impressive. And the thing that I want to show you guys here is his stage 50 Ebony Maw clear. Now, I've been practicing this a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and try this again. This is using the Ghost Panther leadership. Now, Ghost Panther is really good for Johnny because it's 15% crit rate to stack with his additional crit rate that he gets from his tier 2 passive, plus 30% fire damage, but then Ghost Panther also gives an additional amount of fire damage on his tier 2 passive, so he gives an extra 50, so that's 80% fire damage. That's more than any leadership like Red Hulk or Satana, and then he also drops that increased damage dealt to supervillains and the decreased incoming damage from supervillains. So really, really nice combo. Rounding it out, I have Thing for the 40% attack bonus and the super armor, which means that I basically never have to worry in World Boss about Johnny getting guard broken. He doesn't get guard broken much against Ebony Moss. You don't have to worry too much. You could sub out Thing for someone like Coulson or Shuri for additional damage, but just to be safe and just to have a much smoother ride, we're going to go ahead and try this out with Thing to kind of guarantee. But that's the other nice flexibility about the Fantastic Four for Sue, Reed, and Johnny. You can build them, especially for PvE, you can build them without guard break immunity because Thing can give them super armor in any game mode as long as it's not a one-on-one game mode. So here we go. We're going to wait for him to teleport before we started off with the third skill. I like to just open with the third skill. I didn't get the proc that time, but that's, wow, it took a long time to get the proc. But that's what we basically want. We're going to open the 5th. I actually like canceling the 4th skill into the 3rd skill because you can see there he's being double charmed. For whatever reason, I find that he actually, the charm effect actually hits more frequently when I use the 4th skill, which is maybe a weird thing to say, but maybe there is some hidden correlation between, I think I missed the proc there. Nope, he got iframe dodged. You will still get iframe dodged by Corvus, by Ebony, so it's not a perfect run, and you may have to rerun this from time to time, but his damage is good enough. It is definitely reachable, especially with the all defense down stacking. And the really nice thing about the all defense down stacking is that it also affects the strikers. So you'll actually see that your damage, as you're proccing your damage proc and as you're stacking the all defense down, you'll start to do damage, and then as the strikers jump in kind of mid attack, you'll see spikes and you'll see the HP of Ebony kind of bounce down suddenly. That's because you're stacking that 50% all defense down and your strikers are coming in kind of mid roll. So it's really cool. We got the mind control there early, so you can see the damage pouring in. And having high damage strikers like Luna... Oh, I just died. Wow, I got one-shotted. What was that? Take two. So yeah, I have no idea what happened. I've never been one-shotted as Human Torch ever. I don't think I've even died now that I'm thinking about it as the Human Torch. He's got super high movement speed, so that's another thing to take into consideration and kind of tick off as a bonus for him. But I am just shocked. I think he got shotgunned by Ebony's first skill. I think that was super surprising. But yeah, as I was saying, I kind of like doing 4 cancel into 3 for the damage proc because it appears to favor the mind control that Sue and Scarlet Witch hit Ebony with. And it's that mind control. See, I'm not really getting it right now. It's the mind control that you need in order to clear the stage. If you don't get any mind control, it's actually quite hard to do Corvus or to do Ebony because he iframes a lot. Like Corvus, Ebony iframes a lot, and when he iframes, he interrupts you. And because this is a continuous attack skill, you need him to basically sit there for 3 seconds or more to take that damage. And if he doesn't, then, well, he's going to interrupt you, and then your damage is basically non-existent. So that is one of the... We're getting really lucky here. That is one of the downsides of someone like Human Torch. He requires support in the sense that he needs the enemy to stay the fuck still in order to get the most out of his damage. Unlike Gambit, his channeling skill, his main damage skill, is not an iframe. So you always need to keep in mind for characters whose main damage ability... Wow, no proc? Wow, still no proc. For characters whose main damage ability is not an iframe, you can be quite easily interrupted. Kind of like Cap's tier 3 skill. Cap's tier 3 skill is his main source of damage. If that shit gets iframed, yeah, good luck. You just lost like 30 seconds worth of damage. You basically have to take 30 seconds off the clock for your clear. That's going to put you way behind in the overall scheme of things. So we're gonna try to see here if we can... There we go. We did get some mind control there. We're gonna try and string together a few consecutive rotations here. No, he did that purple again. Wow. We're still on track to finish. That's the thing. The damage is still good enough right now that we're still on track to finish. There we go. Beautiful. And Scarlet Witch's 4th skill, as you guys corrected me on the video, Scarlet Witch's 4th skill for Sue's video also has all defense down. So yes, I did kind of make it sound like Sue was the only one that had charm and heal and all defense down. But really, if we're comparing Sue to native tier 2 characters that have uniforms, I think she's in pretty good company, you know, overall, wouldn't you say? And I think she's definitely worth it if that's the case. I think you need to stop, sir. That damage is really nice. Look at that. Like half a bar plus. Very, very nice. I'm afraid he's... okay. Let's heal. But yeah, it's really fun and really easy to play as Human Torch. He zips around. He really feels like Human Torch. I have to say, they did a really, really good job of making all of the Fantastic Four feel like you're playing as the Fantastic Four. And Johnny is no different. Oh, interrupted you. He's going to send out these little ghosts. Gonna have to proc on the 5th skill. We're a bit short on time, but we're not doing too bad. I actually tried... oh, nice, we got mind control. I actually tried Johnny against Cull Obsidian stage 40 because that's a stage that I know Gambit can clear, but unfortunately the all defense down was just not good enough to do enough damage in time to get through Cull Obsidian's insane defenses. But honestly, it wasn't that far off, which is actually quite impressive, and we should be able to clear this here as long as we can get a couple more, maybe one more mind control here. And we are getting lucky. Sue's jumping in. I can see the mind controls popping. Nice. There's another one from Scarlet. Beautiful. I think one more and we should be completely donezo. Stage 50. Now I do have not bad news. I have good news and bad news about Human Torch. So I just finished that with about 17 seconds left. For those of you that were on the live streams recently, I was practicing with Human Torch at level 60 with a very similar team. Instead of using the Thing, I was using Coulson as my other team up, which is technically a more powerful team overall. But I was able to clear stage 50, so the exact same stage, with a level 60 Human Torch. Now, the Human Torch that I just cleared it with is level 70, so he's got substantially more offensive power, and his first and last gear are both up to 22. This one is raised to 22 for the all attack energy attack bonus. This one is raised to 22 for the skill cooldown bonus, and I guess the recovery rate and crit rate is nice, but mostly for the skill cooldown, so that I can cap out to 50%. So, with that being said, I wouldn't say that getting Human Torch to level 70 is a necessity, because if you're going to be doing mostly world boss with him, he can clear 45 of Ebony Maw. He can probably clear 40 or 45 of Corvus as well because of that all defense down. Corvus has really low base defenses, and we can see even Sue can take down Corvus with enough charm, enough mind control, so it's possible for Human Torch as well. And I would say in that sense, you don't necessarily need to invest as much into Human Torch in order to get, you know, a lot out of him. He can do so much even at level 60. However, you do need to take into consideration my build, my obelisk, my cards, you know, the play style, how often the procs are on target, and those kinds of things. But it's very impressive that whether he's level 60 tier 2 or he's level 70 with a couple gears above 20, he can crush up to stage 50 of world bosses that, you know, even tier 3 characters like Thor have no hope of doing in the current state of the game. So I'm very happy with Human Torch. I think he's a fantastic character, and I think most of all, he has a ton of potential in a future uniform, in a future update. So don't sleep on him. Get him ranked up so that you are ready for whenever it drops, if it's this year or next. Make sure you roll Power of Angry Hulk before the discount is over, and let me know what you think. Do you want to see some Human Torch action in Giant Boss Raid? I was thinking about it. I might hit you guys up with a video on that in a couple days. So type down below in the comments. Subscribe if you enjoy the content. Hit me up on Twitch for more. And of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.